Always say yes to the president. Always say yes.
That ain't a good look. How do you think Trump's gonna respond to this guy? He's gonna whip a hat at him? Let me take you back in time about 5 seconds so you can see how this thing's set up.
Give me all of them. Look. See that? Trump was right about everything. Just came in. Somebody said, I said, this was sent in by a fan. I said, I think we should make some of them, right? But we were, pretty much. You want one?
All right, get ready. In 11 seconds, Trump is gonna make fun of these reporters 4 different times. I want you to watch the clip, see if you can identify each time that he makes fun of them, and then I'll come back on. I'm gonna show you each 4, and I'm gonna show you how it's kind of a template that he's following to make fun of these guys, so you can maybe use it in your own life if you struggle with people making cracks at you and you have no comeback.
Are you allowed to take one? Because he'll consider it. I know him well. He's sort of a stiff. Yeah, Brian, you're not a stiff. He's sort of a stiff guy. He'll take other things, but not a free hat.
Always say yes to the president. Always say yes to the president.
Would anybody like one?
All right. So let's go back. The first thing he says when he says, "I'll pass on the hat," says Trump was right about everything.
Pretty much. You want one? I'll pass. Are you allowed to take one?
Are you allowed to take one? What does that imply? He's a little student. Johnny, are you allowed to go get a drink at the water fountain? You know, you have a big boss. You're a little employee. Will your boss let you do this? So immediately it's emasculating when you say, are you allowed to? That's number one. Then what does he follow up with?
Because he'll consider it. I know him well. He's sort of a stiff.
He's sort of a stiff. Okay, that's a pretty easy jab, right? That would work in any instance. But what he's doing as he continues to talk, and what you see people do, is he has a little more time to think about the situation and come up with a better crack specific to this guy. So what does he come up with?
I said you're right. Brian, you're not a stiff. Just sort of a stiff guy. He'll take other things, but not a free hat.
He'll take other things, but not a free hat. So obviously, being a reporter, this implies a whole lot of different things, but that took a little thinking. The more time you've got to run a joke through the old Pentium processor, the more specific you can be. So you see, that's how Trump did it. Now, listen at the end when this kind of loudmouth guy makes a crack at him.
Always say yes to the president. Always say yes to the president.
Would anybody like one?
How did he reply? Would anybody like one? Completely ignored the guy. Why is this important? If you're good at this stuff, what I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be like, yes, that's exactly what happens. If you're maybe not naturally as good at this stuff, this is gonna sound really bizarre. But what Trump was doing, he had about 1 second because this guy repeated himself. So starting right here.
But not a free hat.
Always say yes to the president. Always say yes to the president.
He had that beat to think about in his head. What are the different comebacks he could say to this guy when he said, always say yes to the president? So he's making fun of him. He's like, you know, you can't stand up for yourself. The big boy's always right. So he was going through the different things he could potentially say to this guy, but he decided after playing out in his head the reaction that he would probably get, that it's best just to ignore. A lot of times it is best to ignore, especially if you can have no emotional reaction at all, because it just discredits the person. It takes all the wind out of their sails. And when everyone's looking at you, like it's not a normal situation, it's like 3 guys sitting around, but when everyone's looking at you, it's even more powerful because they look at you for the default reaction. So what does he do? It's like he never even spoke. He has no reaction, 0 emotion, and just immediately asks if anybody'd like a hat.
President, always say yes to the president.
Would anybody like one?
Just completely dismisses that he's even there. And I remember the first time I saw Trump in a debate, and it was so obvious to me that he had real life social skills and these other politicians just didn't. Like, think of at a frat party in college when everyone's making fun of you, they're trying to take your girls, they're trying to make you look bad to make them look good. Trump had been exposed to all that, where these stiff politicians, when he was making fun of people, calling people fat and dumb, they just stood there like no one's ever made fun of him. They'd never been exposed to real life. So watching Trump in these situations is a really good learning process because he is one of the best. He really is. Like in public, I guarantee, you always hear people who talk about Trump, they're like, dude, he's whip sharp and he is so funny in person. And I completely believe that because the way you can really tell is how quick people are in their feet. If people are reading through cue cards and they have a curated audience that's only asking softball questions, it's easy. But obviously, a lot of these people in here are not Trump fans. That's why they're trying to make fun of him. And that's why they're refusing the hats and saying these kind of backhanded comments. So it's really interesting to learn and watch how Trump handles these things. Now, one of the things I do is coach vocal tonality to help people to speak with a strong tone of voice. But another thing is I help people who feel like they can't defend themselves when people make fun of them. Maybe they kind of freeze up. Maybe it's at the workplace and they don't know what to say when someone makes fun of them at the water cooler. So if you want to learn more about how to always have a quick comeback, to make the other person not only look bad, but to make you look better than if they never made fun of you. Because when you are quick on your feet and you've got something really sharp to put them down, first of all, that person's never gonna make fun of you again because it makes them look so bad, but it actually increases your status more than if they never made fun of you. So if you wanna learn more about that, I'll put a link down here below the video, and I'll talk to you there.